Hello and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about tissue memory, or the physical warehousing of emotions, and specifically I want to give you guys and share with you a lot of the tools that I use to help release emotional energy that has been stored in the body. But before I get to showing you guys the tools, I first want to lay a bit of the groundwork here and explain to you what is going on and how this works and what I've noticed in myself and in the clients that I've worked with. So when I've been in periods of major shifts or doing a lot of releasing, I have received so much guidance from my non-physical support team about how important it is to do or incorporate body work into my other energetic release or hygienic practices, that working directly with the body can hugely help and assist energetic or emotional, non-physical energy that you are trying to release. It can hugely assist you in letting that go and letting it melt away. The reason being that emotions are energy in motion, meaning that this is what we experience and feel as emotion is meant to move through us. And when we have experienced trauma, which trauma is simply just unhealed or unreleased pain, and that pain can be a result of things big or small, and what might be traumatic to one person might not be traumatic to another. So if we can just think of trauma as simply unreleased pain, really what that is emotions that have not moved through us, where we've been in a place that, maybe in order as a coping mechanism, in order for us literally to, survive or get through a situation, we had to dissociate a little bit or completely, and the emotions have not been felt and have not moved through us. Or because of whatever the emotions were that were coming up for us, we might not have felt safe feeling those emotions, and we might have pushed them down or pushed them aside, or maybe there was a lot of stuff going on in our lives and we just didn't really have the time to sit and be present with them. And so what happens is this emotional energy actually bottlenecks, accumulates, and gets stored in our physical tissues, primarily muscle and our fascia. It can also happen, this is kind of a little bit of a separate topic that would be a different video, but this can also happen actually with even fat storage. Like if you tend to gain weight or store fat in a certain area of the body, this can be related to that as well. So the fascia, if you're not familiar with it, is simply connective tissue, and it literally encases, essentially everything in your body. Muscles, vessels, organs, and so it's sort of like this saran wrap that goes around everything. And the fascia and the muscles have been shown to absolutely store emotional energy. An easy way to think of this might be to consider a time where you've been really stressed out, and there's been a lot of things going on, and no doubt that you had a lot of emotions that were connected to what was going on, but that stress, there's not an outlet, or you haven't had time to do the self-care or the introspective processes needed to release that, and you actually will start to feel tension around the shoulders and the neck, and it's like you can almost feel yourself holding the muscles tight and high. And this is an easy way that we can see that emotional energy absolutely gets stored in our physical body and in our muscles and in our tissues. And I see this actually quite frequently in my energy work. Some of the more common areas are around the hips and the lower back, around the chest muscles, the neck, the jaw, and the face. I get the message so frequently in sessions to help people open their throat chakras, or to help release stored emotions or stress, that the clients are advised to do loosening facial exercises, like literally just moving their face around to help move and release and create an outlet for some of that energy that's accumulated there. So absolutely movement is a great way to start to get this energy going and moving. But sometimes there is stuff there that is just really, really accumulated and congested and stuck and hard, and it requires a little bit more deep work to really help it move. And of course, working through the emotional aspect is paramount, but working with your actual physical body, your sacred vessel that has been holding on to this for you, is, I think, such a compassionate and kind way to treat yourself, and it's also just immensely helpful in helping this energy move. I have experienced so much benefit and had so much quicker release processes working with my actual fascia and my physical body as I do emotional release work than if I just was working on the energetics of the emotions themselves. An example that I would love to share with you guys from my own life happened about, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago, where one of my dear fur kiddos, one of my soul doggies, needed some assistance in transitioning. And the morning that we were meant to go get her that assistance, just a couple hours before, I had this huge sciatica flare up. And that's not something that I deal with. That's not a common thing for me. But just this huge seizing of the muscle and pinching of the nerve right in my upper glute, hip, and lower back area. And when I checked in with my intuition, what came up for me was that this was not actually related to what was happening that day, that current experience, which I felt very, overall actually positive about. This was her time. She was ready. She had told me she was ready and that she wanted assistance. And I knew that I could still connect with her after her crossing. But I had a couple of experiences around transition that happened several years earlier, before I was really awakened, before I had come in touch with my intuition, and before I had much self-awareness or tools to really deal with or support myself in my emotions. And that I had actually stored a lot of the pain and trauma through those experiences in this area of my body, in this glute and hip area, which is a very common place to store trauma, by the way. And so this was coming up as an opportunity for me to have a different experience and release that trauma that I had held from sort of similar experiences that had happened several years back without those tools. And so I was able to use a lot of these bodywork methods that I've found and discovered over the last couple of years to work on the actual physical manifestation of where that trauma had been held, as well as to process and feel those emotions that I had not been able to do a couple years prior. And this ended up resulting in me feeling a huge sense of lightness and release and an energetic shift through this experience of assisting my dog in transitioning, and then having these sensations come up for me that were related to a past trauma around this type of experience. So this is just one way that this can show up. Lots of us walk around on a day-to-day basis carrying density, tension, accumulated and congested energy in our body without having a major flare-up. But sometimes these major flare-ups do happen as well. So these tools are amazing to help you work through something that might be under the surface, maybe that might be a blind spot. And then they're also great for helping you when or if some sort of situation comes up where you feel it in your body and you need some relief. So let's jump right into some of my favorite tools to help around the releasing of the warehousing, the physical warehousing of emotion or energy that's being held in the tissues. Here we go. Okay, so the first tool that I really love, super simple, super easy, anyone can get it and use it, a tennis ball. And I love to use the tennis ball when I am sitting on a chair to roll my feet. The bottoms of the feet also can store a lot of accumulated energy. I love to use this for my back against the wall. One thing that you can do if you are getting frustrated because the tennis ball keeps falling between your back and the wall is you can actually put the tennis ball in like a long sock and hold on to it, and you can just press and lean up against the wall and just find those places where there are knots or tension, or where you notice emotion coming up. Like sometimes when I really find a place where I can tell that there's been stored emotion there, I almost will feel like a claustrophobic or frustrated sort of feeling come up. There's other times where, sadness or grief can come up. So if you're noticing an emotional sensation, that's a great opportunity to stick with that area. If you're noticing a physical sensation or tightness, that's also a great opportunity to stick with that area and just feel out what feels good for you. How much pressure, how you like the ball to move. Do you like it to roll up and down? Do you just like to lean into certain pressure points? Another place that I really like to use the tennis ball is right here on the chest, again, leaning up against the wall, and you can use it to roll out the chest area, which is another area, again, where we store a lot of emotional energy. So tennis ball, great trick, super easy one. Okay, now I'm gonna go for the big giant thing here, which is like this big 3 foot long, let's see if it'll focus. There we go. Foam roller. So lots of people who, if you've been to a gym a few times or whatnot, you probably see the foam rollers and hear the term like myofascial release. But foam rollers are great for rolling out the hips and the thighs, the outer thighs, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the inner thighs, and the calves. And lots of times we develop tightness here as an offshoot of tightness around the hips. Just energy starts bottlenecking and it goes down. So by starting to release energy that is accumulated and knots around the legs and around the hips, this will oftentimes bring relief to even like lower back or postural contributors to energetic bottlenecks as well. So love the foam roller. Okay, let's see here what to go with next. Okay, I know, I'll share with you guys my face roller. So this is a jade face roller, and you just simply use it to smooth out the tension. And there's a larger roller for like a more smoothing, and then there's a smaller roller which is kind of more for like getting in there on little knots. But I love to use this for my face and for my neck and around that area. Again, lots of us hold so much tension and energy in our face, and we're not even really aware of it until like we actually start to like move and relax and open our jaws and let go of tension, also like right around in front of the ears, back behind the ears. These are places where energy loves to bottleneck, and this is one of my favorite tools for releasing that. All right, let's see here. I'm getting this little guy out of the pouch. So the next thing that I have here is a scraper, and this is a scraper that is used in Chinese medicine. I wrote down the name, Gua Sha. So this is not specifically called a Gua Sha. Rather, Gua Sha is a form or a method in Chinese medicine where they use various different tools to, again, help with releasing stored energy in the fascia. And this is the scraping tool that's used in Gua Sha. It sounds like kind of nefarious calling it a scraping tool, but really, again, what you're doing is just smoothing out the fascia. And you can do this in the face and the jaw and the neck. And then I also find that it feels really nice, like around the ankles and the wrists, some of those more like delicate, thinner joints where, I mean, if you start doing a lot of scraping like on your like thighs or like large muscle groups, you're not gonna really feel it a lot with this tool. I like the more like bony areas of the body to use this tool. And this one's made out of rose quartz. And yes, I will definitely below this video, I'm going to link where you guys can find all of this stuff, well, at least the stuff that I can link. There's a few things that I didn't get online, and none of that's like affiliate links or anything. It's just me sharing the stuff that I like. All right, so another one that I have here, and these I just got at my local gem store. Let's see if I can focus in on those, maybe. Okay, it doesn't really want to focus, but these are just little gem spheres. And these are amazing for the hands, for tension that's stored around the palms, the base of the fingers, down the side of the thumb. And what I like to do is find a carpeted area, so these aren't like clanging and slipping all around, and you just sit down, put them on the ground, and you just lean your hand onto it and just roll it around. And again, you just find those tight, tender places and really work with the breath. That's so important too when you're working with fascia and with muscle tension. It's so easy, just like when we experience difficult or challenging emotions, like we kind of like tense up, you know, and we're not breathing and really creating that movement. So to really help support the movement of the energy, it's super important to breathe through anything that's coming up, any, you know, tenderness or discomfort or any emotions that are coming up as you are working with your fascia. So yeah, these are just basically, I mean, even like a medium-sized marble would work for this. So there's that one. Okay, here's another tool that I love, which is a prana mat. So this is a, you know, moderately sized mat that has these little pokey plastic circles. And if you would like to spend a little more money than what I did, I know that they also have ones that are made out of like, I think like bamboo whole or something like that, where it's more natural than plastic, which would be awesome to upgrade to at some point. But these guys, so simple. You just sit on them, lie on them, stand on them, and you can start off wearing like a thin layer of clothing while you acclimate to it. And then once you become more used to it, you can just do it with bare skin. But this is great because, I mean, you can do it anytime. Like I even like to put this sometimes on like my desk chair, and I'll just sit on it and lean back on it. And it's a great way to start to get blood flow going to certain areas and begin to release tension held in the fascia. Okay, so another one of my favorite things here is a cupping set. And this is a cupping set. I just got it off of Amazon, and I'll definitely link below, but it's got a couple different size cups. You can see like a smaller one and then a slightly larger one. This is just like, again, a really high grade plastic. I didn't want to get glass because I was really worried about breaking them. I have tile floors, and anything that hits the tiles shatters. So this is a pretty like moderately priced set that I found that I really enjoyed, and then it just comes with this little gun. And if you have areas of your body like your back or something that you're really wanting to have worked on, then obviously it's great to find a partner or a BFF who can help you out with this. But the kit comes with instructions. Basically, when you're starting off, you're gonna go with just a couple pumps and a very short period of time with the cups. And then once you've been doing it a little bit longer and you're more familiar with it and you're used to the sensations, you can do it for a bit longer, and you can do a couple more pumps to increase the tension. But I love using these, I mean, really in all areas of my body. The small ones are great, like again, around the décolleté and the neck. These are great on the back, on hips, on thighs, really anywhere that's not super bony, where you can find enough skin for it to grab onto. But this is great to have on hand if you have like a neck kink even that just kind of like popped up. That's one of my favorite things. I feel almost instant relief when I do that. And lots of times it's a bit intense energetically, but it feels so amazing afterwards. So that's another one of my favorite things. And then let's see here. Okay, yeah, this is the last one. Okay, and then last but not least, I have my Yoni egg here. So a lot of people don't really think about this, but again, fascia surrounds all of our muscles, all of our organs, and obviously our uterus and reproductive organs are surrounded by fascia. And, furthermore, we have our pelvic floor is made up of muscle. And this area around our root chakra, around these very intimate areas of our body, are absolutely places where we store huge amounts of potentially, trauma or unprocessed emotion, shame, guilt, emotions, and trauma around self-worth. And I love using a jade egg. It's a very gentle practice and a very healing stone to help with releasing and moving that energy that is stored in this sacred space. If you are not familiar with working with your yoni or with yoni eggs, I will also link to a video where I did an interview with my lovely friend Anna, who is very, very familiar. She's an expert in this field and talks in a lot of detail about how to work with the yoni and working with yoni eggs and wands, if that is something that you're interested in. So to wrap up here, I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed. You don't have to get all of these things. These are things that I've slowly accumulated over the period of several years that just felt good for me and that I've enjoyed using. I don't use them all every day by any means, but there's a situation where one of or several of them oftentimes feel really, really good to me to use. So I wanted to share with you my arsenal and my favorites, because this is the kind of energy work where, some of us might not feel comfortable or open to non-physical energy work or doing non-physical energy work on ourselves, or even maybe going to see someone for non-physical energy work. So this is a really simple, easy way that you can work directly with your physical body to actually do energy healing and energy work on yourself and help yourself not only physically feel better, because obviously tight muscles and tight fascia just feels crappy, but also to really help release emotional trauma, stored emotions. This helps both the physical and the non-physical energies of you to heal and to step into alignment with your highest self, your magic and your beauty, and for you to be able to support your body in exhaling and releasing what it's held onto, while you also do the emotional work to really let yourself feel and process anything that might be left over from a time where you just didn't have the bandwidth or the know-how or the support to really be able to do that. So I hope you guys enjoy these tools. If you have any others that you would like to suggest, please put them in the comments down below so we can all learn and grow together. And if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe on this video. And I would love to connect with you guys on Instagram too, if we have not. I'm at Rachel Coletta, and I have my Instagram link down below where I share inspiration and other musings. So this has been so fun to connect with you guys today and share some of these tools with you. I hope you receive some benefit, and happy energy work, happy releasing. Until next time, bye.